When a pair of boots costs over $700, you need some fine eyes and a higher level of expertise to explain to you why it's worth that much, especially when it's made in China, which is what Iron Boots is, and it's a brand that I'm very excited about. And for this extra level of expertise, I've invited onto the channel Ticho Blanco. The guy posts a picture of his boots every day on Instagram, but he's also co-hosts the Stitchdown podcast, the Stitchdown.com's podcast with Ben Robinson. Thank you for coming on the channel today, Ticho.
Thanks for having me, buddy. I am very excited to be here. Just for upfront, like, I do work with these guys, but like through my own choice because they make great stuff.
I met Cheng at Iron Boots last year, and I said that we had a discussion, and I thought it'd be really cool because like this area of like the extra nice boots, and especially ones from other countries, because I'm a huge fan of American-made goods and American-made footwear. But China, surprisingly to some people, is really getting top of the line stuff in the world of, I think you'd call it luxury casual boots.
I, like 5 years ago, went to Norway, stayed with this guy, Lars, does Østmo boots. He's a self-taught boot maker, and he designed these boots based on these vintage Norwegian military boots that he finds at like, thrift stores and stuff around Norway. And he kind of modernized them, gave them a sleeker toe, started doing them in double row stitch down, started using cool leathers, He was like, hey, I want to take this, this is part of like my Norwegian heritage. This is something I care deeply about, these designs, and I want to make them more widely available. The only place I could find that could do it in sufficient quantities for a price that was going to be somewhat reasonable was Iron Boots. These are fully made by hand to just absolutely exacting level of attention to detail. We're just blown away with the work that he's doing. We're super proud of it. We're super pleased with what he's sending out, and I'm excited to see what you have in this box.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
It's a pair of boots. It's called the Chosen One, which is sort of like the signature boot of Iron Boots. I was complaining to Cheng that there aren't enough gray boots out there, which I even did a video on. I think gray is a super underrated color. So I'm pumped to get this. It's a very unusual leather from a tannery that you might recognize. And I'm going to open this box and then we can talk about why they're so special. Because it's not just that it looks cool, and it's not just that they're handmade. There's a lot of unusual elements that go into it that are worth talking about. The Chosen One. There it is. This is the flagship boot, Brogy cap toe. Really compelling last that they're really well known for. Very foot shaped. I'm very excited to try it out. Got a cool Dr. Soul outsole. Dr. Soul, very mythic, epic brand for boot guys. It's like this is more coveted than Day Night, which is increasingly hard to find these days. This leather as well. This is from SB Foot. Red Wing's leather tannery. They own it. They make all the stuff for Red Wing. It's not very often that you'll find non-Red Wing companies making stuff with SB Foot. This is my first pair of boots made with SB Foot that is not Red Wing, which I'm excited about. And Cheng is very excited about it as well. He said to me, this is a gray color, full grain pull-up leather with a thickness of 2.2 to 2.4 millimeters, very well oiled and waxed during the tanning process with a delicate and rich color changing effect on the surface. It's thick, but still feels relatively soft, so it won't be hard to break in. And the gray color is also very special. It's not something you can find all the time. The quality and density of the fiber is damn good and even. So very low possibility for loose grain or unmatched grain. And both sides can be made for boot making, so the rough out is also a cool leather option. He has enough leather for 25 pairs, and they won't be able to restock it ever again. And it should be now available on their website. And if it's after April, it's not there.
Dude, I love the Chosen One, so I've got my pair right here.
And this is called T-Chosen One, is that correct?
Yeah, that was a little good pun that Cheng came up with. I had to respect that.
So we've got our own little makeups.
Yeah.
I'm also, by the way, I'm not making any money from that GMTO.
They were kind enough to make me this pair of boots. We were like, okay, cool. They've got this SB Foot leather that he was able to snag.
Yours is also SB Foot, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the rough out.
Do we want to be advertising these? Are they able to be sold, your boots?
I think the GMTO is already closed, but
yeah, all right.
it was available.
That's the thing with this brand, and it's one of the things that gets people rabid, is being told they can't buy stuff, which is a smart way to market things.
That's it, right? Because it's a small workshop, and the volume of what they can make is like relatively limited.
Yeah.
So when we do our Østmo collaboration, right? There's a ton that goes into it, right? Sourcing all this leather from the top tanneries, getting it over there. It's like a huge pain. So you only have so many that you can make, right? You're just like, well, we've got enough leather for 20 pairs, 30 pairs, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And when that's sold out, that's it. So on the ironboots.com website, like it rotates around. You go check it every month. It's gonna be different stuff on there.
Yeah. It makes it really hard when you have, like, let's say a YouTube channel or a blog where you want your video to be useful and searchable and indexable for a long, long time, so that your brand can get cumulative clout and power. But when it's on a boot that is going to be available for like a few weeks after you post a video, it makes it largely useless. So there are so many ways that this is an unwise business and financial decision to be talking about these boots, but they're cool and fun, and that's the main reason I've got a boot channel.
Right. If you place an order for these, each pair is going to show up looking exactly like this. Just not a stitch out of place, absolutely perfect. That's a rare thing to find in this world in 2024. It's rare to find anything that you can almost guarantee it's going to show up. It's going to look great. It's going to look perfect. And right now, this is one of the few places in the world where I can feel pretty confident telling people, if you order these, they're going to show up. There's not going to be any issues with it. You're not going to have any QC problems, because this guy just doesn't send them out. He just won't send them out. He's so obsessive about every little detail about these boots, and you can just see it in the finished product. I think this is the 9th version of the chosen one that he went through, and he fully ordered all these lasts, tweaked them, said, nope, it's not good enough, changed it again, threw them all out, bought new ones. And this is version 9. And I mean, I've been wearing it on this rough out. It's super, super well thought out.
Now, not to be classless or rough around the edges. I don't want to be ill-born, but let's say someone's watching this and they came across my channel because they like Red Wing boots and Thursday boots, and they're like, what do you mean these are more than twice the price of Red Wings, and they're not made in America?
Yeah.
This looks like the same boot to me. This is just an Iron Ranger, isn't it? What do you tell them? It's even made from the same tannery leather.
I mean,
wait for this.
Oh, okay. Look, there's a huge difference between a handmade product and a factory-made product, right?
What does handmade even mean, though? Every boot that's Goodyear welted, even sometimes when it's not, they'll say this is handcrafted.
We talked about this in our Viberg video, right? The skill that it takes to do the machine stitching on those, right?
That's true.
Is really intense, but it's also still significantly more efficient than doing it by hand. And these guys are doing it by hand, so every pair, the stitching is perfectly placed, it is perfectly even, it is just absolutely impeccable work, right?
The guy who's just started learning about boots, he's gonna know about Thursday and Red Wing, right? After a few weeks of looking at forums and trying to get into it a bit, he'll eventually be like, okay, so Viberg is the pinnacle, which is a $800-ish Stitchdown construction boot from Canada. But even Viberg, which is very good, their Stitchdown construction is done by machines, which is still very skillful, and we're not knocking that at all.
Right.
But we're trying to emphasize that this is more laborious than that.
Right? There is no corners are cut. There's no mechanical advantage to speed things up. It is done as slowly as possible to be able to control every little detail that goes into these, right? And if you cut a pair in half, right, it is just layers of leather, veg tan leather, veg tan leather, veg tan leather.
All right, actually, we have a picture. We have one cut in half right now.
Boom, there it is.
There it is on the screen.
Right?
I just did that.
Whereas a lot of factory-made stuff, right, will have leather board, or it will have some kind of synthetic fillers or stuff like that. They're using a wool filler, which takes more effort to insert by hand.
What are the layers in this?
Right, so you got a thick veg tan leather insole. You've got a leather midsole, which you could see when he's doing the half soles, he tapers it down, right, and does it really skillfully to blend in that half sole, which is I think super cool. And then the heel stack, that's all all veg tan leather as well. And to fill that little gap, instead of using cork or something synthetic, he's using wool, which...
Tell me about the wool.
Dude, the wool is amazing because wool is great for regulating temperature, regulating moisture, right? There's a reason why, you know, you wear sweaters and stuff, and it's a great mid-layer that regulates your temperature and regulates how much moisture is on your body, right? And so because of that, the whole thing breathes a lot better. The whole thing, you know, than just having a rubber or synthetic that's going to just kind of keep that moisture in there.
And you like it even better than cork, you think?
Yeah, yeah. So Kai, his inspiration, right? I think if you ask him like who do you want to be as a bootmaker, he'd say, I want to be John Lobb. British bespoke. He loves bespoke shoemaking, right? That's where his passion lies, right? Where he's then taken that passion and applied it to these work boot, service boot type of styles. And what you end up getting is just impeccable finishing, impeccable build, nothing's out of place. It is done by hand, you know, hand lasted, hand welted, everything. And because they're in China, he's able to do that for a really, really strong price.
Yeah, and a nice thing about goods that are made at this level is a lot of cynics, they'll say, made in China, I don't trust it. How do I know that it's good quality? Like, I can point at the materials in it. He'll say, how do I know it wasn't made by like some child labor or sweatshop or whatever? And like the weird answer to that is that, you know, like an enslaved child, like literally, this takes too much skill.
Right.
It's too skillful. Like all the stuff that goes into this, you need like years and years, if not decades, of experience to be able to do it. Like it's almost like a guarantee against it.
Yeah.
Like you're worried about something made in China, just make sure it's incredibly high quality.
Right. Yeah. This is the level of work that goes into this is only being done by someone who is well compensated, somebody who, you know, every single person in the workshop had a giant fan pointed at them. Like, you know, they're taken care of. They are, you know, they're very happy to be there
and you've been
working on this. And
you got some pictures as well, don't you, of the workshop?
I do, yeah. We'll scroll through some of those.
You didn't get video, which is annoying, but we got photos.
Yeah, sorry, man. Next time I'm over there.
Okay.
You know, I think it's a tough ask to say, hey, we're these guys in China, and we'd like to be respected amongst the top shoemakers in the world.
Yeah.
You know, they don't.
It's so ballsy to even go out there and try and change that stigma.
Yeah, they don't inherently get that respect, and they are still like, we're gonna prove everybody wrong, and we're gonna do this the right way, and we're gonna do this better than anybody else, and we're gonna offer a better value, and we're gonna only send out perfect boots, and we're just gonna make sure that, you know, we're gonna make sure that reputation of made in China boots doesn't persist any longer. People are coming back for their third, fourth, fifth, sixth pair. And, you know, the wait time is probably going to go up at some point, and the price is probably going to have to go up at some point because the demand is rising. And so, yeah, I would say...
What's the wait time these days if I want to get something?
3 or 4 months. Pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, relative to like, right? Especially to like Pacific Northwest makers who even... Okay, hang on, I got a couple here. So we mentioned before the Viberg, their machine Stitchdown construction, very, very good, very impressive, very hard to do still. This is done by hand. If you wanted hand sewn Stitchdown, we actually have some whites here, which are hand sewn Stitchdown, but you can see the two of them here, the stitches per inch is vastly higher on iron boots, which is vastly more difficult to do, which is not to say white boots are made badly or less durably, it's all good. You know, if you see on paper this boot's hand sewn stitch down, this boot's hand sewn stitch down, you'll be like, oh, okay, this should be the same price, ignoring that there's a million other things that go into a boot. But yeah, you look at them side by side, you can tell, okay, this is a different beast.
We got this Østmo by Iron Boots collaboration. Pretty much every month we put up a new makeup. When we sell out of the leather, we close it out, and you know, they've started closing out a lot quicker. So
yeah, this is a Mariam horsebutt from Italy, is that right?
Yeah, so this was a pair I actually wore in the Stitchdown Patina Thunderdome. It's Mariam Rovescio Sego, which is reverse horsebutt. So we said some of this over, right? We went to Mariam, we said, hey, we want, you know, some natural Rovescio Sego. They said, cool, made us some test hides. We sent it over. He's got this nice pattern here. Like, it's really, really skillfully done, right? And
but no one can buy this, so we can't talk about them too much.
No, you'll be able to buy those.
Oh, these ones? Mm-hmm. Oh, great.
So, you know, he goes through, and he's like, hey, I'm only gonna use the shell portion of this. So when you order more leather for the production run that will be on ironboots.com, potentially when this goes up, I'm only using that portion of it. And so like, I just won't use anything that's the offcuts. And that's his approach to it. He's like, look, if I'm gonna make you a pair of boots that costs, around $1,000, right? These are not cheap boots, but like, it has to be worth it. I have to put in the attention to detail that people expect at that price. And I'm going to click it like I'm making the most special pair of boots that you're gonna own, because that's what he wants to give you. He wants to give you that experience, that like bespoke, made to order experience.
It's sort of like, even though it takes 2 months to get to you and it's a pretty small workshop, this is like the closest thing to like a large scale bespoke maker almost.
I mean,
like it's bespoke, but it's not. It's like highly skilled, but like the volume is like higher than you would get from a normal bespoke place, but the attention to detail isn't far off from it. Well, I'm excited to wear mine in, and I'm super pumped to have these boots. I'm gonna take them out right now. Iron boots, depending on when you see this video, maybe none of these will be available, but whatever is available is very cool, and we encourage you to check them out.
Yeah.
Ticho Blanco Shoes on Instagram. Hit him up with any questions you have about iron boots. He likes talking about them a lot, and also sizing questions and everything. He's just like the wonderful. Yeah, like a woodland nymph. Well, I don't want to say nymph or fairy. It's like a masculine mythical creature that you can be.
Centaur?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like the center of the boot world. Thank you for watching this far. Do try to subscribe as well for more stuff on casual stuff that lasts a long time, and follow Ticho Blanco and listen to the Stitchdown Streetcast to hear more of this genius mind. And we'll catch you for the next one. Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Thanks, bud.